Welcome everyone to tonight's showing of Bristol Dirt action here in the Galaxy Cup Series. I'm Eric Wineland up here in the booth tonight in JCTV land with the mastermind himself, Josh Coppernoll. Josh, it's glad to be back in the booth with you. It's awesome. I love it up here. I do want to get my taste of dirt too, but as we watch practice chaos happen, man, what an exciting event we got on our hands tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I've been looking forward to this race for, well, ever since it was announced on the schedule, and we're finally here. I'm very happy to be trading in my fire suit for a microphone this week. As much as I want to be out there myself, just like you, Eric, I think it's going to be a great show from up here. And I might have better luck up here than I would down there. I'm not a dirt racer, but this should be absolutely amazing, and we might see some other people running up front than what we have in the past weeks. We've seen one team dominate so far, winning every single race. So this might be able to open up the door to allow another guy from another team to come out here and win.
Yeah, absolutely. This one's been circled on a lot of drivers' calendars tonight, so we welcome you in the 2021 Galaxy Cup Series season, race number 8 here at Bristol Motor Speedway, where they dumped 2,000 truckloads virtually of dirt here on iRacing to Bristol Motor Speedway to get the 19 degrees of banking we have here tonight on this half-mile circuit. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome. It's Galaxy Cup Series. This is a full-distance league on iRacing, run by the masterminds and admins of Galaxy, including our analyst in the booth tonight, Josh Coppernoll. Get you caught up to speed so far. Last time out, Josh, at Atlanta, we saw Jake Hickson be the latest to get another victory and lock himself into the playoffs later this season.
Yeah, Hickson, he's been on a roll so far this year, already claiming his 3rd win. The season has just started. He's already got 3 wins under his belt. Hickson has been on a roll as of late.
3 wins in 7 starts this season sees Hickson at the top of your standings, followed by Ty Ippolito, just about 30 points back. He's 27 points back right now with 1 win, that being the Daytona 500 earlier this season. Josh, we'll go ahead getting all our viewers caught up on the season so far. Let's go ahead and look forward to tonight. We got ourselves 250 laps on this dirt track, and just by the looks of practice so far, this is gonna be one night for some of these guys.
Yeah, our guys, the guys that race here in the Galaxy Cup Series, they're used to ovals, but they're used to asphalt ovals or concrete ovals, like Bristol Motor Speedway is, without all this dirt on top of it. It is a half mile of concrete. So these guys, they've got to really completely change what they know about Bristol Motor Speedway, because everything that's in their notes from previous visits here, it won't apply. It is straight up whole different track almost, with all this dirt piled on top of the concrete.
So let's go ahead and take a chance to highlight some of these drivers tonight, Josh. And I want to start with my pick to win tonight's race. He's been the strongest so far in practices. He's been the strongest in his heat race. He nearly was able to lap like 2 of the 5 guys that were racing for 3rd. Braden Proudfoot in that 6 car. I mean, the guy is just super talented on dirt, as I've come to see so far. And I learned this just before we went live tonight. Braden's a pro, or a former pro, on iRacing on the dirt side of things with Jim Beaver Esports. So Braden having such a great dirt background right there already made it really easy for me to take him as my pick to win tonight's race.
Yeah, I think he is easily the favorite to win, and it's gonna, obviously it's a long race. He's gonna have to survive 250 laps, but you know, anything can happen and will happen in those 250 laps, but uh, Brandon Proudfoot, he is the guy to look out for, and he might just be the Kyle Larson, the Brad Sweet, the Donnie Schatz on this dirt track here that we have ahead of us tonight.
Yeah, he's one of our guys who love to sling dirt here in the Galaxy Cup Series, and a couple of others like him out here that absolutely love the dirt side of things. Josh, your pick to win tonight, I think I know who it is probably the other dirt ringer that we're looking to see run super well tonight.
Yeah, Joshua Gaiman, I think, is going to be a favorite as well. I think he's one that you got to expect to see running up front, trying to, reel in Proudfoot, or at least not necessarily reel him in, but keep him honest, keep him at bay, and he might be able to just pull out the win as well.
He only finished behind Proudfoot 3 seconds in their 15-lap heats that were not broadcasted tonight, just before tonight's event started, or our broadcast started. Apologies. So look out for Joshua Gaiman as well. Others to highlight: Mike Tellier went out and won the third heat of 3 heats in the Galaxy heats just before our broadcast. So he's another one to watch tonight. I'd say also keep our eye on Cameron Caldwell, who's been looking to kind of rebound his season a little bit and just finish ahead of all these dynamic autosport guys that have won the races so far this season.
Yeah, and one thing to note as well, in the Galaxy Truck Series, the Galaxy and the Pitch Truck Series, we ran last night also here at the Bristol Dirt Race, and Mike Tellier was the victor. He is the one that won the race last night. So Mike, he's sitting P1 on the speed charts in practice. He won last night's race. So those Radius guys are definitely ones to keep an eye on as well.
Lot to look forward to tonight, Josh. So we've got a chance to recap things so far this season. Looking forward to tonight. These guys are about 50 seconds from practice finishing up, and we'll take their gridding positions. So let's go ahead and go over our heat finishes and then go over our grid. Josh, how does that sound to you? We'll go ahead and start with heat number 1. Heat 1, like I said, Braden Proudfoot ended up winning it by 2.5 seconds over his teammate Joshua Gaiman in the 61. Third then was Brandon Figliola, followed by Randy Drumhiller and Brian Mabry, that rounded out your 5 finishers in Heat 1. They'll start themselves based off of a combination of where they finished in their heat and also some passing points. Josh, I think you can give a little more light on how you guys were able to calculate the formula for the starting lineup tonight.
Yeah, so for the passing points tonight, if you lost a position, you didn't go negative points, you just simply got 0 points. But for every position gained, it was 1 point. So if you started 8th and finished 7th, that would be 1 point. Now, these do not count as championship points. They just counted as points to start the starting lineup for this race. And it actually allowed Cameron Caldwell, who won the second heat, to come out as the pole sitter tonight. He's the Majors Garage pole sitter. Definitely looking like it's going to be a good one here with Caldwell starting out front and having those points get him up there. Brandon Proudfoot starting 2nd place. Alex Princeton 3rd. Mike Tellier, winner of his heat race, starting 4th. Jake Hickson in 5th. Brandon Figliola starting 6th. Sean O'Brien 7th. Dylan M. Schmidt in 8th. Joshua Gaiman, my pick to win, starting 9th. And Randy Drumhiller starting 10th.
Starting 11th tonight, Robert Anderson in the 18, flanking him to his outside 95 of Nolan Hodgson. 13th tonight goes to Joshua Campbell, 14th to Kevin Franks. 15th tonight is David Duke in the 78 to his outside, the 3 of Brian Mabry. 17th tonight, Jason Chambers in the 11, 84 of Kyle Amon in the 18th position. And rounding out your starting field tonight, your Daytona 500 champion, the number 19 of Ty Ippolito, running a shotgun on the field tonight. Pace truck is rolling around. We'll get 2 pace laps here for these guys to get themselves set. And then, Josh, we've got 250 laps of dirt track racing tonight. Stages tonight are lap 100, lap 200, and then also the end of the race. No competition cautions, unlike what we are seeing tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow, weather dependent, in the actual NASCAR Cup Series. But these guys, Galaxy Cup Series follows it as close to a T as they can get it. So minus the competition cautions, we will see some lengthy first stages tonight. Through 3 and 4, the pace truck rolls. Get to see it make the hard left turn onto pit road, release the field into the hands of that number 12 on the bottom, Cameron Caldwell. Barney the flagman has the green flag in hand. It's waving in the air, and we are green for Bristol Dirt Showdown here in the Galaxy Cup Series.
And immediately Caldwell, he got sideways on the start, but he's able to keep the lead through turns 1 and 2. But Proudfoot is not going away. He's on the outside. Proudfoot with the advantage.
We didn't get to talk about it too much, but the conditions of the track did carry over from the warm-up that they just finished. So the track's already pretty well run in. We see that outside line looking like the preferred line. A lot of drivers starting to migrate up there already as Proudfoot works out a half-second lead so far over Cameron Caldwell in the 12, followed by Mike Tellier getting up to that 3rd position. Joshua Gaiman to 4th. Hickson moving forward as well, battling for that 4th spot. Currently scored 5th tonight. Oh, we got contact at the back. Hickson is all out of sorts. He's going to save it, but that just released the top 3 to get away from the rest of this field. Jake Hickson having a moment there through 3 and 4, and we got a spin up here in turn 3. David Duke in the 78.
Looks like
oh, we see it right there.
Brian Mabry just got into him a little bit.
Just turned him around. I think David Duke will be all right, though. It looks like he also caught the wall on entry a little bit, Josh. And in iRacing, that's not something you want to have happen.
Yeah, not at all. Hitting the wall definitely will hurt the right side of his car a little bit. Doesn't even look like he has a front end, but be interesting to see how bad it hurts his car.
So we get our first little race break. Josh, I want to ask you, you had a chance to talk with quite a few of the drivers here pre-race before our broadcast went live tonight. Are these guys expecting a lot of tire wear? Are they not expecting tire wear? What's the general consensus from the garage area?
They're not expecting a lot of tire wear at all. It would be very interesting to see if these guys even pit. They do have 6 sets of tires waiting for them in the pits, but I don't think anybody really is expecting to come down and take any tires through this event.
We'll see here as they work through 3 and 4 pit road entry. Looks like everyone's going to stay out right now. Timing and scoring has 1 driver hitting pit road. That's the 5 of Alex Princeton. He gave up, I think, 6th spot, or maybe 7th, to come down pit road. So he's going to come early, maybe getting some damage fixed. No fast repairs tonight, Josh, for these guys. It absolutely changes the way you'll race this race, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, you know, these guys may not have a lot of dirt experience, so saving the car is key tonight because you do not want your race to be ended early on. With no fast repairs, I don't expect these guys to just go out there and drive it like they stole it, per se, rather, but go out there and be more conservative. Maybe try to learn something that they could use towards the end of the race. Come close to lap 250. Our final stage is going to be 50 laps as well. So it's going to be a short run. You definitely want to be able to save your car for them 50 laps.
Pace truck lights are off. The pace truck peels in, releases the field back to Braden Proudfoot. He's going to make him wait and then get his jump. Gets a nice jump starting from the bottom there. Mike Tellier to his outside. Not going to be able to challenge for the lead. And off into one goes Proudfoot. Slides up the banking and gets himself a nice healthy lead. Cameron Caldwell with a nice move. Moves himself into second as Tellier holds up Gaiman on the top line. Gaiman's going to try to get to the bottom behind the 7 of Brandon Figliola.
That was a great restart by Caldwell, but back here we've got a lot of chaos, bumping and banging. But yeah, it was.
There's a lot of contact happening.
Oh, Hickson sideways.
He got the boot from Robert Anderson right there.
Yeah, and
in the middle of 3 and 4.
Hickson then went up and got into 96, I believe, of
I think that's Dylan Schmidt.
Dylan Schmidt, yeah. This is crazy back here.
Dylan is not going the right way right now. He's unfortunately going backward, sliding backward on the bottom there. Jason Chambers in the 11, his teammate working around the outside of him. The 19 of Ty Ippolito inside of Kevin Franks right now. This battle for 13th back here as we ride on board with Dylan. Still battling away with Jason. He's going to slide up behind him. Jason's going to work to try to chase down that green, yellow, and orange number 44, Randy Drumhiller. Just ahead of him. That battle is for 10th.
Yeah, really seeing the handwork by Dylan Schmidt there from that cockpit view as we're back looking outside of his car. You know, this track, Eric, it can be a handful already. And you even won the spring Bristol race last year in the Galaxy Cup Series. But were you moving your hands around like that we just saw out of Schmidt?
Well, I mean, Josh, you'll be able to attest to this more than anything because you've probably run more laps than I have on the sim. That dirt drives way different than the concrete of Bristol. I mean, I moved my hands quite a bit in that race just from the sheer fact of the car getting loose, but dirt just seems to be a whole different animal. We see these guys really working the middle of the racetrack right now in as well. I don't know too much about my dirt surfaces. I will be the first to admit that, but it does look like that outside line with a little bit of a cushion seems to be still the preferred lane for most of these guys, though some guys are trying to work the bottom and middle just to be able to make some passes. We see Dylan Schmidt get by the 44 of Randy Drumhiller.
Joshua.
Thankfully, no weather here in iRacing's virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. It means we don't have to worry about the track getting greasy with all the rain that they have gotten down there in Bristol so far in the real world. Josh, you're taking a look at the 61 of Gaiman. Your pick to win tonight's race. Running, I believe, up to third now. He's +6 from where he started.
Yeah, third place, looking really good. Oh, David Duke in the wall just in front of Gaiman there, but he's able to keep it straight. Gaiman out here just trying to hold on to it. Right behind David Duke. I'm going to be able to get by Duke, no problem.
Dear goodness, I'm up here watching our leader. He's working lap traffic right now, and he just absolutely blew by 2 lappers that are fighting side by side. He's going to do it again. Dylan Schmidt and Randy Drumhiller still battling away right here for 11th. And Braden's just flying around him as we get a yellow on the speedway. That might be because of the 32.
Back and see what happened here. Oh, it is for the 32.
Oh, yeah, there's the 32 speeding.
he just
The
lost
radio.
it.
Nope.
Oh,
I was going to say the radio that I heard, which the broadcast, unfortunately, you guys won't hear tonight, but I'll be your radio scanner for tonight. Sounded like Jason Chambers said that he didn't get into Jake on his end, that there potentially was a bit of netcode, but no response has been given over the radio. So those two will seem to figure it out at some point tonight. 24 laps, or 23, excuse me, laps complete here in our opening stage of the Galaxy Cup Series Dirt Showdown here at Bristol.
let's go ahead and bring in our leader, Proudfoot. Hey, Proudfoot, it's Josh up the booth. You got a copy?
Yep, I got you.
All right, so I just, first of all, got to ask this question. I've been waiting to ask this question for quite some time now. So after driving the Cup cars on asphalt, now that you're driving them here on dirt, how much of a difference does it feel to you right now between dirt and asphalt? Obviously, they're completely different, but give us a little insight how much of a difference it is from your perspective.
It's huge. For me, it's night and day, especially considering I come from the dirt side of things. You getting into the corner, it's more about whenever you get tight, you're going to go up the track just like you would on asphalt. When you get loose, you got to worry about spinning out. But on dirt, it's even more so. You got the black patch in the center. That's a lot more slick, and some of these guys are going to have to learn that. And whenever you spin, if you spin off of the top, you're actually going to get a little bit more looser because you're getting into that slicker dirt rather than you being up on the dry stuff. So when you get loose a lot quicker. When you get tight, it's the same way. You got this nice shiny stuff. You'll try to turn, your front tire's doing anything, it pretty much turns to black ice. So some things are amplified, but driving adjustments for sure for a lot of these guys going from asphalt to dirt.
Eric, do you have anything for him?
Yeah, Braden, with such shine already in the track, what's that going to do for you guys tonight? I mean, we're only 25 laps into the race of a 250 lap race, only 10% of the way there. How's this track going to evolve the rest of the way home as you guys put more laps on the track?
Track, it's going to stay black like this, and you'll notice up on top there, we've probably got about 2 car width cushion going from the slightly dry stuff all the way up to where the wall's at. That's going to thin out a lot, and I expect to see a lot of right side damage on some of these guys. And those guys that are already tight are going to be even more so as this race goes on. So if you're tight, it's only going to get worse, and be sure to keep an eye on your right side as that top side wears away.
Alrighty, well, you're getting ready to go for the restart. Thank you for taking the time to chat with us. That was Braden Proudfoot, our leader, who is actually getting ready to restart the race right now with Sean O'Brien to his outside, Josh Gaiman in third, Mike Tellier fourth. Nolan Hodgson has found himself into the top 5, back under green here at Bristol.
A great restart there by Proudfoot. Gaiman actually able to take over second spot. Something I've kind of noticed so far, Eric, it almost looks like second place, whoever restarts up second is not getting a very good restart, but Sean O'Brien, he's able to be holding on. Gaiman actually does complete the pass. Oh, Tellier in the wall.
Tellier just, I mean, you think he used the wall, Josh. He just flew by the 95 of Nolan Hodgson. And Nolan at the top of our screen right there, and out of our left. I mean, Mike's gapped him already, but Mike just drove up onto the cushion. He may have gotten a little bit of help with the wall, but nonetheless, what a move from that 53 car. Moves himself up into third behind the I think it's Unkind Esport drivers. Yes, the Unkind Esport drivers of Braden Proudfoot and Joshua Gaiman.
He's actually going to be fourth behind Sean O'Brien as well. I tell you, he is still looking really consistent and looking really good. As mentioned earlier, did win the Truck Series race last night. He's looking to keep his momentum going here as he looks to chase another checkered flag.
Oh, we get a spin right in the middle of the field back here. The 7 of Figliola has gone around right in the middle of a couple of these guys. Catch it right there on the replay. And I don't know if he clipped Alex Princeton right there, but he definitely clipped the inside wall. Did the 7 of Figliola. Get a catch on our replay here. It looks like Brandon just gets down in maybe a little too low. And that just got him too loose. Cameron Caldwell going for a ride too. He actually hits his teammate in the 84 of Kyle Amon. And Alex Princeton might have picked up a little bit of damage there on his right rear as well. But Figliola, the real loser from that incident, moves him back to the tail of the field.
We're going to take just a quick break. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to tonight's coverage of the Galaxy Cup Series Dirt Showdown here on JCTV. Brought to you tonight by In the Pits News, Cameron Caldwell Graphics, and a couple others, Josh, that you know of that help make Galaxy run week in and week out.
Yeah, Major's Garage Pole Award as well. They are a big supporter of us. Given a free setup to all the pole winners. Whoever wins pole on the season get a free setup based off of from Major's Garage.
Yeah, a huge shout out to them too for sponsoring the pole awards tonight. Braden Proudfoot, or I'm sorry, not Braden Proud, Cam Caldwell, one of our proud winners of that tonight, having sat on the pole. Drivers are lining up 2 by 2 once more. The iRacing pace truck pacing these guys down the backstretch right now. Little race reset right here. Working lap 38. 38 will be complete by the time they take the green flag. Still a little bit to go. Just over 60 before the stage break. Just about 210 by the time, or to the race finish tonight at Bristol. Green flag waving in the air from Barney the flagman. Braden Proudfoot out of his whole shot once more to the lead in front of his teammate Joshua Gaiman. Gaiman slides to second. Sean O'Brien Jr. still showing strong in third. Gets himself ahead of Robert Anderson in the 18 for fourth. Followed by Tellier, Hickson, Chambers, Princeton, Hodgson, and Caldwell rounding out your top 10. And they're still side by side for about the 6th position. Big slide from Ippolito in the back. Big slide right there from Sean O'Brien Jr. trying to go after second. Ippolito falling backward. He's actually holding Drumhiller up. Allows Kyle Amon and Dylan Schmidt to get to the inside.
Yeah, and I think Ippolito here, he's going to have a lot more company coming. He's able to keep it going in front of the 96 of Dylan Schmidt.
cleaning up that last incident from Figliola. Only one driver came down pit road. That was actually the 12 of Cameron Caldwell. Chose to take his second set of tires tonight. Everyone else basically on the tires they started with, except for Alex Princeton made an earlier stop. We documented that one, and actually Dylan Schmidt also made a stop earlier, as well as Randy Drumhiller. Up front, Joshua Gaiman's still trying to figure out how to chase his teammate down. Already the lead for Proudfoot, 2 seconds over Gaiman. Gaiman's got another one to 1.5 seconds over Sean O'Brien Jr. in the 65. And he and Mike Tellier are sizing up to potentially battle for third right here. We see them coming through. Sean using everything and maybe the wall a little bit too, allowing Mike to close up into turn 3 right there. So we continue to watch Gaiman try to chase down Proudfoot. I just don't know right now, Josh, that there's enough in Gaiman's car to be able to go up there and drive up to Proudfoot. And we see these guys, as Proudfoot mentioned earlier in our interview, these guys really working the top and that cushion that they got up there near the wall.
Oh, Gaiman got into the wall pretty hard there, and that got him slowed up a lot. Sean O'Brien really had nowhere to go except into the back of Gaiman. So Gaiman's still second place. O'Brien trying to get up there. He's going to be into the wall. Still not able to close in that gap and be able to pass Gaiman and take over the second spot.
Sean enters so much higher, it looks like, than Gaiman. I don't know if he's putting his right rear right on the wall or what. But, oh, Sean overstepped his bound right there. He actually slammed the wall a little bit. It doesn't look like it slowed him down too much. As Gaiman, Gaiman didn't really open up too much of a gap, but these guys really working the top here at Bristol. Oh, Brian just a little bit out of shape there. I don't know, Josh, what's that onboard say right beside his name?
Rip to lip, tater chip.
That's pretty good. Pretty good saying to have in the car tonight.
Sean O'Brien, he's starting to really struggle now. Not able to close in on Gaiman. Meanwhile, nobody is able to close in on your leader of Proudfoot. He's about to be putting Dylan Schmidt a lap down.
We are halfway through stage 1. Your leader, Braden Proudfoot, yellow, is out on the speedway. I believe we've got a wreck with the 3 of Brian Mabry. Yeah, he's rolling backward right here. It looks like, oh, he spun right in front of our second place driver.
Just got sideways, and then Gaiman actually caught him just a little bit to help finish off the job. Brian Mabry with damage all around his car.
So right there at the halfway stage, Brake was going to go through a little bit of a field reset with you until the yellow came out, but we get the chance to do that now here under caution. Only Mike Tellier choosing to come down this time for some tires, I believe, on that number 53 machine. Your leader, Braden Proudfoot, pretty much led every single lap of this race thus far, except maybe 1 or 2 from Cam Caldwell there at the beginning. Second place goes to Sean O'Brien Jr. We saw him make the pass on Gaiman as Gaiman was trying to avoid the spinning number 3 of Brian Mabry. So Joshua Gaiman back to third. Now Robert Anderson has found himself up to 4th place here in stage 1. Alex Princeton in the 5, running 5th.
And your pole sitter, Cameron Caldwell, he is running 6th place right now. Jake Hickson in 7th. Nolan Hodgson in 8th. Jason Chambers currently P9, and Randy Drumhiller P10.
Ty Ippolito scored in the 11th position right now, followed by his teammate Brandon Figliola in 12th, still recovering from that spin he had earlier on in stage 1. 13th for Kevin Franks in that 98 Ford Mustang. Mike Tellier, after making that pit stop, falls to 14th. He'll restart 14th right now. Make that 13th as Brandon Figliola has hit pit road for some reason. Dylan Schmidt in the 96. Your last car scored on the lead lap in 15th. And then we have Kyle Lehman, Joshua Campbell, Ryan Mabry, all a lap or more down. And your first retiree from tonight's event, finishing 19th tonight, David Duke in the 78. We saw him with some heavy damage earlier on this evening.
This race has been heavily dominated by Proudfoot so far. I want to know if anybody can stop him. We still have a long way to go. 195 laps still in this race. The lights are off on the pace truck. We're going to be coming back to the green flag.
So once again, Braden Proudfoot choosing to start on the bottom. Sean O'Brien Jr. to his outside. Joshua Gaiman riding third. Anderson up there in fourth. See these guys get ready to restart here. Proudfoot's going to get an early jump right here and help his teammate Gaiman out. Already Proudfoot out to a 3-car length lead. Anderson in the wall. Caught Cameron Caldwell as they went off into turn 1. Proudfoot gets away in the lead. Gaiman slides up in front of O'Brien for that second spot, followed by Alex Princeton now moving up to 4th after Anderson caught the wall and promptly fell backward through the field.
Princeton, he was trying to slide up the racetrack, got into Sean O'Brien. That actually really hurt Princeton. Now he makes contact with Cameron Caldwell with the number 32 of Jake Hickson. Is on the outside there trying to take over the 4th position from Alex Princeton.
Alex got a really nice run right there through the middle. He was able to clear Hickson and keep it. Now Hickson getting the better run through the middle. Look at that 32 push through past the 5, gives the 4th spot to Jake Hickson now. As there's 3 wide for 5th. Anderson makes a little bit of contact with Alex Princeton. That sends Princeton backward through the field a little bit. Nolan Hodgson to the inside of him. Meanwhile, you see him just absolutely scattered everywhere. Mike Tellier, just coming off that pit stop, has already worked himself up to 9th after restarting 13th. So big moves for him. And Jason Chambers in that 11, still trying to ride the top line. Little bit of contact for the 5, and Alex Princeton is getting bullied all the way to the back of the field.
Yeah, this is just insane watching this group of cars right here. It's so close. You can take these guys, throw them under a blanket. This is just insanity.
And Josh, I mean, you've turned some laps in the Cup car on dirt. At this point in the race, I mean, the track's pretty well rubbered in through the middle here. We see it. Oh, we got a spin. Jason Chambers in the 11 just spun off the tail end of this group. He gets it righted, losing a couple spots, but that's going to bring our, I believe that's what, our 6th caution of the night out.
Yeah, he just spun a little bit there. 19 of Ippolito also involved by coming in late. He was committed to the high side though. So Eric, I actually do not have any laps with the dirt car, or I'm sorry, the Cup car on the dirt. But from my experience with dirt in general, I do know that the track is constantly changing, the groove is constantly moving. So Um, where you're at right now racing might not be where you're going to be racing at as far as groove in a while. Dirt racing changes so much, and it's really going to force you to try to find the grip. A lot of drivers trying to search around. We see a lot of guys using up that high line right now, but I'm wondering if maybe a little bit later if they're going to try to maybe look low, try to find some grip on the low side. The middle line is currently working a lot better than the high side has been, but much like you, I'm not a dirt guy. I don't really know much about dirt racing, but the track, it is definitely worn in. And these guys, they still have 184 laps to go. So it is going to be all about finding the groove and the rhythm and just continuously trying to stay consistent on where you're running, trying not to hurt that car. I think the best looking car out there right now is Brandon Proudfoot, the leader. He has a little bit of right rear damage from what I can see, but all these other cars have really beat up machines.
Yeah, absolutely. We see the track already pretty rough, and while the middle has worked, I almost think it's just better to get a pass done for a lot of these guys if they can get it down the hill to get the acceleration off. We still see Brandon Proudfoot just driving away on the top, though. Green flag back in the air here in stage one. Correction to my earlier statement. It was only the 5th yellow of tonight's event. And already Brandon Proudfoot back out to a healthy lead over his teammate Joshua Gaiman. To the bottom goes Cameron Caldwell. Gonna try to work Sean O'Brien right here for that 3rd spot. Caldwell not really gonna get it there on Sean O'Brien Jr. So move O'Brien Jr. back to 3rd. Cameron Caldwell really trying to work the bottom of the racetrack right now. Slots back to 4th.
Got a good battle still between Sean O'Brien and Joshua Gaiman. I've noticed that it really seems like these two, they are close on a restart, and then it kind of starts to, Gaiman starts to really pull out a stretch between him and O'Brien, much like we're starting to see here.
Oh, O'Brien, I thought he was headed for the wall right there based off his entry through into into turn 1. We got a yellow on the speedway. I believe the 84 of Kyle Amon might have ended up around. We'll see if we can get a chance to get a replay of it.
Dylan Schmidt, and he got into Alex Brinson a little bit, and Taya Polito also involved. Kevin Franks getting involved a little bit, the 98. And I'm not sure who might have else been involved.
We saw Kyle Amon right there on the bottom, just stop in time. Whereas Schmidt and Ippolito were still getting their cars righted around, and I'm not sure who snuck right there through the middle. I think that was, you said Kevin Franks in the 98, right?
Yeah, believe him and Jason Chambers also just barely involved, but making a little bit of contact in that caution.
Listening to the in-race scanner right now, race admins reminding the drivers they are not allowed to wall ride or use the wall to gain any sort of an advantage here in the Galaxy Cup Series. This one driver just put it on the in the driver's radio. He said no cheese, which is a pretty good comment from that driver. But yeah, they're just taking the time to remind him that even though we are on a realistic sim, they are not supposed to do anything to try to gain an advantage, just like they would in real life. These virtual cup cars, Josh, even racing quite a bit of the season, can take quite a beating, especially when they're running on dirt.
Oh yeah, definitely. These cup cars, they are not like your you know, Indy cars or Formula One cars. You can give them a little bit more of a beating in that sense, but still can hurt the car. But on a place like Bristol here, I'm not too sure if aerodynamics is really going to matter so much. Especially here on the dirt.
Yeah, the Cup car's certainly not cut out like a late model, right, Josh? I don't think the aero plays nearly as much of a factor with these guys, but again, I could be totally wrong in that point too. We'll see if we can talk to some of our drivers tonight to get an idea of how they feel in the cockpit of these race cars. Or once more working lap 78 when they take the green flag. We'll have 22 laps remaining in the stage. 22 laps in this first stage for Brandon Proudfoot to try to go out and win this first stage, or to see if Josh Gaiman or Sean O'Brien, maybe Cameron Caldwell, will try to challenge him. Already back to green. And the top three, Proudfoot, Gaiman, and O'Brien Jr. going to the wall already. Caldwell the first to try to make the bottom work right there in that number 12.
That was actually a great restart by the top four, but once again, it is Proudfoot pulling away as expected here. And Cameron Caldwell, he's going to challenge Sean O'Brien on the bottom here. O'Brien into the wall.
We got problems at the back of the field. I don't think it's going to be a yellow, but there was a lot of contact between the 96 of Dylan Schmidt and the number 5 of Alex Princeton. And I think Schmidt got the worst end of it, maybe with Randy Drumhiller as well. Meanwhile, back up front, Cameron Caldwell still trying to work some semblance of a bottom line in for himself, but it just doesn't look like he's getting anywhere with it, Josh.
Yeah, he's definitely struggling on the bottom. Something that, you know, I've been noticing is Caldwell's been riding the bottom quite a bit, and I wonder, you know, he sees all these guys working the top line in, so obviously the top line is going to get worked a lot more. As now we see O'Brien going down to the bottom to try to pass Gaiman. It doesn't quite work for him down there, so but going back to Caldwell, he has really been the only one trying the bottom for most of this race.
There's a couple guys back here further on in the field that look like they're giving it a shot. You see Mike Tellier right there in the back of our picture behind Cameron Caldwell. There we go. He and Jake Hickson, as well as Nolan Hodgson, are all trying to work the bottom a little bit here, see if they can get anywhere with their cars. Looks like not really making too much ground for those guys. Hickson's going to try the middle here. Hodgson to his inside. They're going to get side by side here off of turn 4. Hickson still getting the position there on that lap. But now Hodgson has, the 95, has worked himself in front of Hickson. Not enough to get clear just yet for that 95. He should be able to pull away right here.
Now, and Hickson as a mirror full of Robert Anderson. Hickson has been able to close back in on the 95 of Hodson, but now Anderson, he has a mirror full of Alex Brinson.
Princeton and Anderson still side by side as they work through turns 3 and 4. Gonna give the spot to Princeton right there at the exit, and he's gonna go chase down Jake Hickson over here in turns 1 and 2. Just shy of 10 laps to go, looking at about 12 to go in this first stage. Brandon Proudfoot has a 1.3 second lead over his teammate Joshua Gaiman up here at the front. Right now, honestly, Gaiman and O'Brien are still racy up here, as we see Princeton still working toward Jake Hickson right there, getting close to the back bumper. Not really able to make anything happen. And we got a yellow on the speedway. Looks like it's the 98 of Kevin Franks. The 61 of Gaiman involved as well.
As well as Proudfoot. Looks like Brian Mabry got into Kevin Franks and sent Franks right up into Proudfoot. The only thing was that right rear of Proudfoot hitting the wall, so he should not be hurt at all.
But that's gutting to Joshua Gaiman, because we saw it there in the picture. He came to a dead stop hitting those cars in front of him. That undoubtedly has to hurt the motor and the cooling performance of that number 61.
Oh,
I don't know.
His whole front end off.
In the sim, that's gonna be tough.
Now, as I said earlier, I'm not really sure how, aero is going to become a big factor into this race, but that there with no front end, I have to imagine that is not going to be helpful by any means. For the
I mean, more airflow might be able to help with the radiating performance of that radiator, but at the same time, that thing just took a huge hit right on the front of that car. We'll see if he'll be able to continue here. Just shy of the end of this first stage. Currently 7.5 laps remaining in the stage as they work down the backstretch under yellow right now. Brian Mabry, I don't know if he just didn't realize that Kevin Franks is down on the bottom or what, but that certainly hinders the chance of the guys behind him. Sean O'Brien maybe getting a piece of contact through that, but he got through relatively unscathed. We saw Proudfoot hit the right rear off the wall pretty good, but Gaiman, the real loser, he's going to bring it to pit road, actually, right now, behind the 3 of Brian Mabry. So Gaiman's actually again going to give up his 4th place position, or 3rd place position, excuse me, to come down and repair the damage as these guys go to green.
Well, there is, one of the heavy competitors that you and I thought were in this race early on, now sitting with a lot of damage. Still a long way to go for anything to happen here, but so far this has been the Brandon Proudfoot show.
Yeah, and his main competition just took a huge hit, right? I mean, Gaiman takes a massive shunt to the front nose and has rendered him at the rear of the field. And the race control is coming over the radio right now to let us know the next yellow will be the stage finish, whether they get to lap 100 or if they have a yellow right here before they get there. Proudfoot gonna lead us back to the green with Sean O'Brien Jr. to his outside once more. Mike Tellier in third, Cameron Caldwell in fourth, and my goodness, Cameron Caldwell was asleep for that restart. And he's gonna spin the 95 of Hodgson right in front of the field. Oh my goodness, the scenes here at Bristol.
And I think it's a good thing that you can't run into the pace truck as well, because that pace truck went right through Nolan Hodgson, and as much as he was bounced around like a ping pong ball there through all that calamity. So it's a good thing that the pace truck couldn't get him as well. Let's take a look back and actually see what happened.
He right reared him. I don't know, Josh, you'd be better to answer this question. Have these two had a history in the Galaxy Cup Series so far this season?
I don't necessarily think these two have had a history, but PBR and Radius Racing have had a history this season with some PBR guys getting into some Radius guys. Nolan Hodgson being a PBR racer, and Caldwell, the 12, being the owner of Radius Racing. Cam actually told me before tonight's event started to tell my PBR guys to settle down tonight. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that one was all about. It could have just been a mess up on Caldwell's part. I don't think it was intentional by any means for Caldwell to do that to Hodgson.
Don't mind the 84 on your screen right there. I think Kyle's a little bored. Something you can do on iRacing is the pace car is actually not a solid vehicle, so you can definitely decide to drive through that. Not sure that the Galaxy Cup Series admins will be too happy about Kyle doing that. They might get a little bit of a talking to after the race, but nonetheless, having a little fun with it at the moment. Brandon Proudfoot has decided to make a pit stop, and it currently sounds on the radio that potentially a black flag. Potentially a black flag for Proudfoot through the pit cycle there. They're very confused on what happened on the radio. It sounds like some sort of awkward situation in the iRacing timing and scoring. I'm sure they'll get it figured out. Nonetheless, Mike Tellier is now your leader, with Brandon Figliola running second, Joshua Campbell third, Ty Ippolito fourth, and Sean O'Brien Jr. in fifth. That's going to be your top five to restart this second stage.
Sixth place is going to be Robert Anderson. Seventh, Randy Drumhiller. Eighth, Joshua Damon. Ninth, Alex Princeton. 10th, Jake Hickson. And down in 11th place for Brandon Proudfoot. He has been working through lap traffic. This is going to be interesting now that the people in front of him are not lap traffic or lap cars. How he's going to be able to manage to try to get his way back up the front.
Mike Tell, you're going to get us restarted here. 149 laps to go. Going to be 49 to go in the stage. Barney, the flagman, waves the green flag, and we are back underway here at Bristol.
Tellier gets a nice restart there. And Figliola, almost seeming like the big loser. He's gone back quite a bit.
He is going the wrong way on the top side, Josh. He is holding up his teammate. He's holding up the 61 of Josh Gaiman and the 6 of Brandon Proudfoot. Oh, contact between Ippolito and Gaiman. Gaiman goes backward and Proudfoot moves forward. Meanwhile, you got Dylan Schmidt in the 96 kind of stuck in the middle of 3 wide, and Proudfoot's going to get to his inside. There's contact, but they're going to hang on. Oh, Figliola in the wall hard.
And this is just a lot of crazy racing now. Figliola still in the wall Now he's able to get it off that wall and continue. Proudfoot, he's continuing his way up to the front. And here we see him really running the bottom line. That's because everybody in front of him is running the top, so he can't really pass anybody. He's committed to the bottom.
He's just choosing
Contact
to go
in the
where...
back. Figliola around.
I think Proudfoot was just choosing where they weren't, but big spins for the 7 and the 84 of Kyle Amon involved as well. See if we can get that spooled up on the replay for you guys. See what happened. Looks like there was some early contact with the 7 and the 96. The 96 got a little bit of the piece, of Joshua Gaiman, and then Schmidt came down the track into the 7. Sent the 7 spinning, and the 84 just gets collected in it as well. That's going to be our 8th caution of the night, I believe.
9th caution.
Already 9th caution of the night, excuse me. And these guys are only working lap 107. Josh is going to make for a long night up here in the booth. These guys just having a tough time tackling this dirt.
Yeah, I was very interested to see, who was going to be able to really shine tonight. As we said at the top of the broadcast, the dynamic guys have just dominated this season, and we've really not seen any of them up front. It's been Sean O'Brien, Gaiman, Proudfoot. Now we've got Tellier up front from Radius Racing. So Robert Anderson as well in the 18 running up front. So it's, we have not seen dynamic really, other than unfortunately in the cautions that we have had. So far, Hickson is the highest dynamic running driver in 5th place, number 32 on the screen behind the 5.
And his teammates, Ippolito 8th, Campbell 9th. It's currently all of his teammates that are running at the moment. Brandon Figliola in the 7, also still sitting on pit road at the moment. He is now 1 lap down while he repairs damage. Been sitting on pit road a little over a minute, a little over 70 seconds now in his box. Gonna get the 2 to green symbol, I believe, right there. Mike Tellier still your leader right now. From Sean O'Brien Jr., Robert Anderson, Alex Princeton, Jake Hickson, Randy Drumhiller, Brandon Proudfoot, Ty Ippolito, Joshua Campbell, and Joshua Gaiman, your top 10. These guys all looking to score stage points by the end of this stage, but we still got about another, what is that, Josh? 90 laps left in this stage, so they can get to that final 50.
Yeah, about another 90 laps to go, as it will be at the conclusion of lap 200. So still quite a ways to go just for the second stage. Mike Tellier still the leader, looking to sweep the weekend.
Yeah, you documented how he won last night in the Truck Series, Galaxy Truck Series. It runs on Friday nights. Catch an occasional broadcast of that here on JCTV. Pace Truck's going to go ahead and make its left-hand turn. Mike Tellier back on the loud pedal. Got a little bit of a jump, but he lost all of his momentum. Sean O'Brien Jr. still going to challenge around the outside. And we're going to be side by side off of 2. Give the lead to the 65. What a move around the top.
I liked how Tellier did restart them there. He was a little bit patient and then took off. But ultimately, Sean O'Brien, he was ready. And now your leader is O'Brien.
Leader by a lot already. See, the 6 of Proudfoot has already, Josh, worked his way back into the picture. Right now riding behind the 18 of Robert Anderson. That battle is for 5th with Alex Princeton just ahead of him. Anderson's going to give the boot to Princeton a little bit. Princeton squeezes Proudfoot. Proudfoot's going to get 2 off of turn 2.
Wow, he made that look super easy. I'm over here in my seat expecting a crash, and he is just still passing 2 drivers in the same corner. He is now 3rd place, and he is catching Mike Dellier and Sean O'Brien, the fastest car on track the last time by.
Give him 2nd place already, because Mike Dellier just went backward. You see out the windshield here, Proudfoot really working that cushion to try to track down your leader, Sean O'Brien Jr. Gap at the line right there, just under a second. This would be 0.9, 0.8 lead for Sean O'Brien Jr. And I think that lead, Josh, is going to quickly dwindle.
Yeah, and Sean O'Brien, he keeps getting into that wall hard. As long as he keeps doing that, that lead is going to very quickly dwindle down.
Here comes Proudfoot sliding down the banking. Off of turn 4. He's going to go to the bottom.
Caution is out.
And he makes the slider. No, but the yellow was out first. He almost completed that slider, though.
Let's take a look to see what happened. Oh, Gaiman, slow on track. Let's see what happened to Gaiman. Oh, he was slowing down for Hickson. It looks like maybe. Oh, he got into Hickson there. That's what brought out the caution. Then Jason Chambers comes out and gets into the back of Gaiman. So an innocent bystander for Chambers. Chambers was committed to the high side there. And, you know, Eric, when you're committed to a line and you have a wreck in front of you, it's not so easy to move down or up to try to get you know, out of that line that you're committed to in the corner.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when you don't have the same grip on dirt as you do the Goodyear tires on a concrete or asphalt racing surface. Really hard to make that adjustment and get the car slowed up.
So that caution, it came out just seconds too late for Sean O'Brien to try to keep the lead, but it was perfect for Proudfoot. Proudfoot was going to take the lead regardless whether that caution had came out when it did or had it not come out at all. Proudfoot was already committed to taking that lead away, but for Sean O'Brien, I gotta imagine he was just hoping it would have, you know, it would have, if a caution were to come out, it would have came out just a few seconds beforehand.
Go ahead and take a look at the profile of one of our drivers, Josh. If you want to go ahead and highlight the number 6, Brandon Proudfoot. A rookie here in the Galaxy Cup Series, but he's no rookie on iRacing. He's documented to us before the broadcast. He's also documented already on the radio tonight in the sim that he is a pro iRacer on dirt. Brandon has qualified twice for the iRacing World of Outlaws Late Model Championship Series. Finished 11th in the qualifying series back in 2018, going into the 2019 season. Finished 20th overall in the actual 2019 season. Then he went back to the pro qualifier once more and qualified again, qualifying 22nd for 2020 Unfortunately, 2020 was not his year in the World of Outlaws late model series here on iRacing, finishing 31st overall. But he did have a couple good runs within those 2 years. He made sure to document one of his great runs was Williams Grove, where he finished career high 6th in the iRacing Pro Series. He's going to lead us back to the green flag here at Bristol. Proudfoot out to a huge jump over O'Brien, then side by side for third between Mike Tellier and number 5 of Alex Princeton.
Tellier's going to take over third place. Princeton.
Oh, contact.
Saves it. Wow. They are still 3 wide for Princeton. He gets into the back of his teammate Nolan Hodgson there. And here comes Gaiman working that high line.
Contact again between Princeton and the 84 Kyle Heyman. 84 is going to pull a slider on Joshua Gaiman. Gaiman's going to try to turn under him. Can't do anything there. The 9 of Joshua Campbell to the bottom of Gaiman. Oh, contact at the bottom of your screen between Anderson and Hickson. There's Josh. They're just beating and banging off each other at this point.
These guys, I think tempers are flared already. And we still have 123 laps to go, just passing halfway. I imagine some of these guys are not happy with each other. This race is just, it's insane. I think something Darrell Waltrip says about Bristol anyway on the concrete is it's almost like taking a bunch of airplanes and flying them in a gymnasium. And here you've got these airplanes in a gymnasium now on
contact.
dirt. More contact.
Oh, Princeton's
there.
gonna put Gaiman in the wall. Princeton got the boot from Jake Hickson on the entry to turn 1. Sorry to cut in there on you, Josh. But Princeton just, I don't know if he didn't check up or what, but he drove up the track and just slid out into Gaiman and put Gaiman in the wall. It sends Gaiman backwards. Here comes Ippolito around the top of his teammate Joshua Campbell. Drumhiller also getting by with Drumhiller without a spoiler on his car in the sim. This in the rear deck lid and the back bumper cover right there. Might be a little tough for the aerodynamics of that with number 44, but Joshua Gaiman to the bottom of Ty Ippolito. He's going to pull a slider through turn 2. No, he doesn't quite get clear. That lets Ippolito get back to the outside. This is great racing, even if it is for 10th position. Gaiman gonna make sure he gets that slider clear now and gets ahead of the 19. He sets his sights to go catch the number 44 of Randy Drumhiller. Kyle Heyman, having himself quite a night after rebounding after being a lap down, has moved up to 8th.
You know, Eric, I'm just sitting here on the edge of my seat expecting a caution to come out at any point with, you know, Gaiman just having all sorts of battles around him. But he's now able to really pull away. Now he's challenging on the outside of Kyle Amon in the 84.
Two very distinct lines through the corners, and they're both kind of working. Maybe a yellow on the speedway right here. Looks like it's the 98 of Kevin Franks having some issues again tonight. Already got caught up in a couple incidents. Not his doing, just unfortunate victim of circumstance there. As our replay just got messed up. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. We'll get it back for you here shortly.
Oh, Kevin Franks, he caught the start of pit road.
We're going to need a barrel reset over here at turn 4. Thankfully in the sim, it can happen in the blink of an eye.
He just lost it on his own. So nobody else involved. And that would have been right in front of the leaders as well.
So the 98 of Franks gets himself recovered. Unfortunately, falls a lap down due to the incident. Won't be able to get that back under this yellow. 36 laps into stage 2. Still got 64 more to complete to get to the end of stage 2. Your leader, Brandon Proudfoot. I apologize if I've said that wrong all night. It is just not my night to look at, at some names, Josh. But anyways, Proudfoot, your leader from Sean O'Brien Jr. in second. Mike Tellier running third. Nolan Hodgson fourth. Robert Anderson rounds out fifth.
Jake Hickson in sixth. Joshua Gaiman seventh. He has had an up and down day ever since getting into that accident that he was involved in. Randy Drumhiller 8th, Joshua Campbell 9th, and Dylan Schmidt in 10th.
Riding 11th right now, Alex Brinson in the 5, 12th for Kyle Amon in the A4, 13th. And the last car in the lead lap for the 19 of Ty Ippolito. First one lap down is Brandon Figliola. In the 7, Kevin Franks, we documented he just won a lap down. He rides 15th at the moment. 16th for Jason Chambers. 17th for Cameron Caldwell. Looks like Caldwell has retired from tonight's event. He's 39 laps down. Brian Maybury, 49 laps down, will finish 18th tonight. And David Duke, our first retiree of the night, still back there in 19th.
You know, Eric, I'm actually very amazed with how many cautions we have had and how many drivers we still have on the lead lap. We are on our 11th caution, and we have 13 of the 19 drivers currently on the lead lap.
Yeah, not a huge field tonight for the Galaxy Cup Series on dirt. Dirt's been really tough. You see some weather condition changes here in the sim. It looks like the sun's starting to peek out here on the raceway. Only going to make that middle slicker, I would think, here in the sim. Lights are off, I think, of the pace truck. Yes, they are. Proudfoot back to the lead with a great restart jump over the 65 of Sean O'Brien Jr. Mike Tellier battling away with Nolan Hodgson and Robert Anderson for third.
And I do apologize about that production delay there, but we did catch the restart. Sean O'Brien back here. Go ahead, Eric.
I was going to say, why don't you give the fans what they want, Josh? Here in the middle of stage 2, let's go ahead with a little bit of Turn It Up here on JCTV. Wait, what? Bringing us back.
Alrighty, we are back from the Turn It Up, but because of a caution, let's take a look and see what happened.
Oh, the 44 is spinning right there on the front stretch. Looks like a little bit of contact from the 95 of Nolan Hodgson. I mean, kind of got stuck together right there. Tell you what, Josh. Drumhiller missing the rear deck lid, missing the back bumper. It has not slowed him down too much tonight. That battle was for, I believe, 6th when the yellow came out right there. And just unfortunate right there for those guys getting stuck together on the front stretch. But how about it? Randy Drumhiller, second year in the Galaxy Cup Series. He's not one to give up, Josh. He runs it out every single race he can. And still being a trooper out here, missing almost half his car.
Yeah, and he actually is a rookie in the dirt racing class in official iRacing races. But as you stated, second year in the Galaxy Cup Series for Drumhiller. You are guaranteed to see him continue to be out there and trying to gain every position he possibly can.
That's a good point you make about some of these guys being rookies on dirt. We get the chance over here on Timing and Scoring to see the different safety licenses and I ratings of these guys on dirt oval races. And to no one's surprise, Proudfoot with a 5,400 I rating on dirt, being the pro that he has been for Jim Beaver Esports. John O'Brien Jr., actually one of those guys that has a pretty decent I rating on dirt with a B-class license. Really driving it up this week with all the stock cars on Bristol dirt. But yeah, Proudfoot and Joshua Gaiman in the 61 are pretty much the two that have decently high I ratings at 5,400 and 3,300 respectively. Next guys up are in the 18 and 1700s. So it just really goes to show the spread of the skill of these guys on dirt here in the Galaxy Cup Series.
Yeah, and we actually only have 2 drivers tonight that do have an A-class dirt license. A few rookies, a few B-class, a couple C-class. Excuse me, no C-class, a couple D-classes. Green flag is back out.
Tellier went nowhere on that restart. You see him going backward really quickly right there. He's going to fall from 3rd to 7th off the restart. Proudfoot jumps out to a half-second lead over O'Brien already. O'Brien ripping the top, and here comes the 61 of Joshua Gaiman. It took him a long time, Josh, but he has found his way back to the front.
Yeah, and I'm actually really surprised about that. As I stated, you know, I really wasn't sure about aerodynamics affecting him too much or what it would be like. I am very surprised though that he has worked that car back into the 3rd position. He does have a little bit of a battle with Robert Anderson at 18, but he's also looking forward to passing that 65 of Sean O'Brien.
Remember, that car is not running at full song after he picked up a lot of front end damage from a wreck earlier on, right near the death of stage 1. Halfway through stage 2, working lap 152. Got about 48 laps till the next stage break, and then a 50-lap dash to the finish. Oh, O'Brien jumped the cushion out into the wall a little bit right there for the 65. Is going to give it the chance for the 61 to be able to come up here and attack him for second. Oh, O'Brien jumps it again. So does Gaiman. They both get the wall entering turn 1.
Still trying to get past O'Brien, but meanwhile they are pulling away from Robert Anderson, Mike Tellier, and everybody else behind them. It just almost seems like what O'Brien does, Gaiman does. O'Brien just getting into the wall, and it just seems like you see Gaiman get into the wall as well.
Really tough for these guys to be able to run and execute on that cushion like that, and O'Brien gets the wall once more. I just, it's got to be a millimeter perfect thing, Josh, right? I mean, these guys, to be able to place the right rear right on the edge of that, give themselves as much speed as they can, and that cushion's only getting smaller as we continue to tick laps off here at Bristol.
Yeah, that cushion, it ain't going to be too much at the end of this thing, if there is any at all. And they're just hitting that right rear into the wall. Not even close, so close to it you can barely fit a piece of paper bead between the car and the wall. It is simply they are getting into the wall.
And Bristol removed the safer barrier for this event, both here in the sim and in real life. So it's not going to play too nicely with the right rear of these cars, especially if you catch it hard enough like we've seen these guys do a couple times already. This battle for second still rages on, but further back in the field, the battle for sixth is really heated up between Robert Anderson and Jake Hickson. See these two come up. Oh, Hickson just catching the wall right there off turn 4. They were side by side for the last like 3 laps right there until Anderson got himself clear of Hickson. Now Anderson looks to drive away. He's going to try to drive up toward this battle. Mike Tellier still trying to recover from that absolute shocker of a restart. He has gathered it back to 4th. Princeton to his outside. That's contact. Princeton in the wall.
It didn't affect Princeton too much, but it did affect him enough. He's now got to fight off Anderson from behind, and as well as continue to try to catch Tellier up front. And that is for the 4th position that Tellier has. Princeton wants.
So Princeton back to 5th. Anderson, after just getting by Jake Hickson, sets his sights on the number 5 and the number 5 spot. Tellier trying to get by the lapper. He's going to go in and shove Brandon Figliola out of the way. That's going to put Figliola in the wall, and we got a yellow because of it. I think Mike Tellier right there just got fed up with Figliola kind of taking his line away.
Yeah, Figliola, he was already a lap par. Take a look from the cockpit of Tellier. He just kind of sent it down in there into the corner, and wasn't much room to give from Figliola.
They'll quote me on this when we review the race later on, when Galaxy Cup Series admins review this race later on, but I think Mike Tellier just got very fed up with Brandon Figliola very quickly and just wanted him to get out of the way. Nonetheless, that brings out our, Josh, you'll give me the count. I want to say, I'm going to take a wild guess that it is our 14th yellow of the night.
Only 13 so far.
I've been one off all night long.
But this race, it is definitely everything I expected it to be, and that is just pure chaos all throughout the field.
The in-sim radio chatter has suddenly picked up because Mike Tellier is now in a heated argument over the radio with Brandon Figliola right now. Won't be able to bring the scanner to you guys live, but just know that it is not a healthy relationship between these two drivers here tonight. They're gonna have to deal with each other for another 85 laps around this half-mile short track. Little race reset for you here. We'll see if we actually get the chance, Josh, to bring in our other in-race pit reporter tonight, Joshua Gaiman. Joshua Gaiman, it's Eric Wineland in the JCTV booth. You got a copy, sir?
I do.
Well, we saw the unfortunate incident near the end of stage 1 for you, but you've managed to battle back to 3rd. What more do you feel you need besides a fixed car?
I was going to say about 150 horsepower right now. Yeah, that'd be great.
To go up there and battle your teammate.
Yeah, it definitely hurt the car. I wasn't full throttle for like the first half of the race, and now I am, so I just got to stay smooth pretty much.
How hard has it been to manage the throttle? You mentioned that you weren't really going full throttle there early on. Now with, you know, just a little bit of a cushion toward the top, how tough has that been to try to manage and get that line so precise?
Well, I mean, with how close it is to the wall, it's really hard not to just, you know, run it down. And every other corner you're going to clip the wall a little bit, but as long as you're not, you know, getting stuck on it and going up over the cushion, you're okay. But it's definitely not easy.
Alrighty, well, it looks like you're getting to go back to green here. I'll send you back down. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us.
Anytime.
It's a 61 of Joshua Gaiman, teammate to your leader, Brandon Proudfoot. Proudfoot's going to lead us back to the green flag here at Bristol with just 32 laps remaining in the stage, 82 laps remaining in tonight's race. Proudfoot out to just about a 1 car length lead over O'Brien. Then the battle for third is on. Alex Princeton really taking the fight to Joshua Gaiman in the 61.
Yeah, Princeton has been looking really good here in this race. On a P4 right now, he's not able to get pass completed on Gaiman, but he's still trying.
Battle for fifth. Mike Tellier, even after taking out Brandon Figliola like that, is still having to battle different dynamic autosport drivers. Jake Hickson all over him right now. Robert Anderson still in that fight as well. We see Nolan Hodgson in a 95 starting to make his way back forward after getting caught up in a wreck a couple laps ago. That's tight between the 18 and the 32.
Yeah, no contact. I believe Anderson. Oh, we got a wreck. Hodgson saves it. Maybe not.
That's
quite.
Gotta go down
he
as
gets
one
help
of the
from Schmidt. Still going forward, still green.
I was gonna say that has to go down as one of the potentially best saves in Galaxy Cup Series for the 2021 season, except Hodgson couldn't quite save it after he got on all the loose stuff down there at the bottom. Nonetheless, that's gonna send him straight to the back of the field, and he's not happy on the InSim radio.
Yeah, I cannot imagine what these drivers are feeling right now. To still be in this race, 174 laps into it. Not at all what Hodgson wanted to have. But we look back up front, and this is battle for the lead, so Proudfoot really hasn't been able to get a huge advantage on O'Brien. O'Brien, he's right there on the back bumper of Proudfoot. Now gets into the wall just a little bit. Once again, Proudfoot is really good on exit.
Yellow on the speedway. Sounds like it was the 44 of Randy Drumhiller and the 84 of Kyle Amon.
Yeah, Kyle Amon, he just got into Randy Drumhiller and sent him around.
Pretty tough for the 44. Pretty tough night for the 44 of Drumhiller. Talking about him earlier, how he lost quite a bit of his InSim car. And it looks like Kyle just got it all wrong going down the backstretch there. Coming up off of 2. Yeah, he just kind of got himself all out of shape. And ran up there and hit the 44. Nonetheless, that is our, I'm going to take a guess, 15th caution of the night. Probably still one off according to Josh's count. Nonetheless, absolutely making for a long night here at Bristol for these guys. 22 laps left remaining in stage number 2. Give you a little bit of field reset here. Proudfoot still leading from O'Brien Jr. Joshua Gaiman to 3rd. Alex Princeton settled to 4th. Mike Tellier up to 5th once more. Jake Hickson in 6th. Robert Anderson riding 7th. Joshua Campbell having a quiet night in that number 9, riding 8th right now. Taya Polito, your Daytona 500 champion earlier from the season, is 9th, and Kyle Amon, even after that contact, is currently occupying the 10th position.
11th place is Dylan Schmidt. 12th, guy that just brought out the caution, Randy Drumhiller. 13th is going to be Brandon Figliola. 14th, Nolan Hodgson. 15th, Jason Chambers, 3 laps down. 16th, Kevin Frank, 6 laps down. And 17th, 82 laps down, is going to be Cameron Caldwell. Brian Mabry, 91 laps down in 18th. And David Duke, 160 laps down in 19th position.
Hearing reports from the garage area, the 98 of Kevin Franks, as you just documented running, was scored 16th, has retired from tonight's event. So that 98 car not able to continue to run with all that damage that he has accumulated over the course of tonight's event. Lights still on the iRacing pace truck here. And have another at least a lap and a half of caution, I believe. So Josh gets us a chance to reset here. What do you think these drivers are thinking? Let's go with O'Brien Jr. riding second right now. What do you think he's thinking here with 20 to go on the stage?
Well, he's got to get a great restart. Can't be caught sleeping here. And, you know, after that last little run we had, he was still right there with Proudfoot. So, probably thinking that might be able to keep the pace with Proudfoot coming up to this restart. Maybe if he's able to get a really good jump here, might be able to take that lead.
We'll see if he's able to do that. He's absolutely riding the door of the 6 car for this restart through turns 3 and 4. The iRacing pace truck gonna make another left-hand turn onto pit road. 15th of the night, and the field is back to green flag conditions. Proudfoot getting the jump. Joshua Gaiman's gonna challenge for second. He's going to the inside of Sean O'Brien Jr. right here through turn 2, but O'Brien gets himself up on the cushion and drives off of turn 2 and gets himself clear for that second spot.
Sean O'Brien, he's been riding the wall pretty much all night long. Just getting into it on entry, and yeah, I'm really surprised he still has a right side on that car.
I mean, we've seen some of the best do that though, right? I mean, I distinctly remember some certain driver that might be your favorite in the Cup Series, Josh, who absolutely rode the wall at Eldora a couple years ago, trying to go out there and win one of the Eldora dirt derbies that ran in the trucks.
And sure enough, he did end up winning that race. Sean O'Brien here. He is still right there on Proudfoot's bumper. Just
he got too much of the wall.
keeping him honest. Not quite able to make anything happen just yet.
And I mean, Josh, we've even had it in Galaxy competition before. The Truck Series last season in their inaugural season did have an Eldora dirt derby. And a gentleman by the name of Alex Stodner went out and I think he accumulated something like 24 incident points throughout the race, riding the high line. But he won by a country mile over there on the truck side of things last year. Yellow back out on the speedway. Not sure if we'll get the chance to catch who it was. I think it might have been the 96 of Dylan Schmidt.
I believe it started with the 19.
Oh, Schmidt got into the 19, or the 95, excuse me, and that caused mayhem. Oh, hard hit for Dylan Schmidt in the 96 into the side of the 19.
Ty Ippolito, he ended up losing it, and then
Oh.
Dylan Schmidt comes in flying. I'm not so sure he knew Ippolito was there.
Yeah, that did not look like a fun time for either driver. And that wreck actually started off of turn 4 when Schmidt got out of shape. Came down the track into the 95 and held the 95 up. The 44 got a piece of it as well, and the 19 just ended up out of control all the way through to turn 2. So So that's gotta be quite a bit of damage for that number 96 of Dylan Schmidt. You saw Ippolito spinning his tires there. He was just trying to get himself back going. Pretty tough on a slick racetrack. We're gonna have 10 to go in the stage when these guys to get to the line this time.
You know, I'm still very surprised with how many cars we still have on the lead lap, or even that are still competing in this race. We're on caution number 15, and we have 14 cars on the lead lap still. 15 out on track.
Still stage points up for grabs right here. Should restart with about 8 to go on this stage. Gives them room for about one more caution to still happen in the stage before the end of it. So far, it's been the Brandon Proudfoot show, though, out front in that number 6. Fistful of Bourbon. What a great sponsor to have on the car. Quite the scheme that will definitely lend itself to having some dirt on it here tonight. Lights are out on the iRacing virtual pace truck. Gonna go green here with 8 to go in the stage. Proudfoot from O'Brien. Tellier up to 3rd once more. Anderson finds himself sitting in 4th. Looks like Joshua Gaiman made a pit stop under this yellow. Moves him back to 11th. So we'll see some returning faces to the front here. Alex Princeton and Kyle Aitman, 5th and 6th. Green flag back in the air. Proudfoot out to a 2-car length lead already over O'Brien as they haul off into turn 1. Oh, contact. Further back in the field, Mike Tellier just got right reared by Robert Anderson, and that has caused quite a bit of chaos back here for about the 5th spot. Anderson from Princeton. Eamon going to the bottom. Slides right in front of Campbell. Campbell goes to the middle. No real room to race right there for those guys.
Meanwhile, O'Brien, he is still trying to reel in the leader. Not as close as it was just a couple of laps to go. O'Brien actually hit the wall hard, bouncing off of it, going down to the middle of the track. Just a handful of laps to go in the stage. Don't think O'Brien has enough time to catch Proudfoot. And catching him and passing him are two different things at this point, especially at this kind of track.
Oh, we have another yellow, and race control says that will be the end of our second stage. So Brandon Proudfoot, your stage 2 winner from Sean O'Brien Jr. in 2nd. Mike Tellier was riding 3rd when the yellow flew. Alex Princeton finds himself in 4th. Robert Anderson 5th. Kyle Lehman in 6th. Joshua Gaiman 7th. After making a pit stop there at the end, he still manages to rebound for some decent stage points. Joshua Campbell in 8th. Jake Hickson in 9th. And Brandon Figliola rounds out your stage point earners from stage 2 tonight. It looks like pit road is open for a lot of these guys. Proudfoot deciding to make a stop. Excuse me, as well as Princeton, Eamon, and Ippolito. All on pit road right here. That actually moves Sean O'Brien Jr. to the lead, Josh.
Yeah, Sean O'Brien, he is going to take over the lead once again. And he's been out there on the same set of tires for over 100 laps.
Well, hey, Josh, how about we dial up our second place finisher from the stage tonight? Get a chance to talk to one more driver out here. 65 of Sean O'Brien Jr. Sean, this is Eric in the JCTV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, we've been seeing you battle all night long with the number 6 of Brandon Proudfoot. What more do you feel you need to be able to get by that 6 and get yourself a win tonight?
I don't think it's passing him. It's more staying in front of him. I mean, kind of laying out our plan. I ain't pinning again, so it's just going to be about keeping him behind him. I mean, track position is just so important here. It's just impossible to pass, especially with how slick the track is now. That the only way I'm going to beat him is if he never gets back in front of me.
We've seen you ride the top all night long. How's the track? Is it making any sort of change to any other line for grip, or is it pretty much we're just gonna see you guys on the top the rest of the night?
Yeah, it's gonna be top line for the rest of the race. I mean, if you look at my cockpit, I got a little message that says "Rip the lip, tater chip." That's kind of been our motto the whole week.
That was the next question I was gonna have for you. Josh and I went ahead and documented that was on your dash earlier in the race tonight. So you've been living up to it. Is the cushion kind of worn out to the point that you guys are having a real hard time hitting it? We've seen quite a few wall hits between yourself, the 6, the 61, and a lot of others.
I think so. Me and the Proudfoot are just knocking the thing down. I mean, I'm trying as hard as I can not to hit it. I mean, it's just impossible how worn out the track is.
Alrighty, well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Good luck the rest of the way here in the race.
All right, thank you.
And Josh, that was our second place finisher from the stage. The number 65, your current leader, John O'Brien Jr.
That's going to be very interesting to see if he's going to be able to hold off Proudfoot. If Proudfoot's able to get back up to the front.
Back under green here at Bristol. Tellier not getting a good restart. He's going to stack the outside line up. Not sure if he missed a shift or what. Gaiman coming on the top. He's going to turn Anderson to the wall.
It's a hard hit for Robert Anderson. He went to the inside wall, hit it head on. He's got a lot of damage on that car.
That's really rough. That stacked the field up quite a bit. We'll see if we get a chance to catch it here on JCTV on some replays. Just unfortunate timing. I think the 18 might have thought he was clear when he came up the track right there. We get a chance to see it on the replay. Yeah, he just kind of came up the track as if Gaiman wasn't there. Proudfoot was in that, as well as Jake Hickson in the 32. I think the 5 of Alex Princeton got a little bit of damage through that as well. Get to ride on board here with the 18. Excuse me, ride on board with the 6. Ooh, tough hits. Josh, how hard is that to try to shoot a gap when you see them wrecking in front of you? It's such a tight window right there in front of Proudfoot.
Oh man, it is super tough. Try to make it through something like that. First of all, you're on your brakes, just hoping that you're able to avoid getting hit from, or avoid driving into it. But then you're also looking in your mirror to see if somebody's going to hit you from behind. In this case, Proudfoot was also hit from the side. So it was one of those things where he was really boxed in at that point. Sean O'Brien still the leader. Gonna restart us with Mike Tellier P2, Joshua Campbell P3. Really first time we've seen him up front tonight. Those, like I said, those dynamic guys really have not had too good of a race here tonight. The Bristol Dirt. Only race on dirt, though, we'll see this season.
In the Galaxy Cups series, at least these, which sometimes airs here on GCTV. Lining up for, I believe, a Knoxville Nationals race, right, Josh? Later in the season.
Yeah, and that is one that really should be a good race as well. When the Galaxy Untitled News Truck Series visits Knoxville. Hopefully we'll be able to catch it on JCTV. But that's still quite a ways away.
Back to green. Barney the flag man waving the green flag here. We get back to our live pictures. Apologies about that technical delay. Sean O'Brien Jr. back to the lead in front of Mike Tellier. Joshua Gaiman working the top. He's going to challenge Mike for second and get the big run off of turn 4. Give the second spot to the 61, and the 6 of Proudfoot is not too far behind. Third in line on the top.
Yeah, Proudfoot, he's now in third place, and he is coming strong. But Gaiman, he is really trying, keeping Sean O'Brien honest here. He's going to get in the back of O'Brien. Proudfoot gets into the back of Gaiman. Now we're 3 wide for second place. Tellier backs off.
I think Gaiman got the wall right there. Yes, he did up there in turns 3 and 4. That's going to get Proudfoot up to second. We heard on the 65 radio, he basically said he is not giving Proudfoot an inch. Not going to give him the track position. The only way he's going to win this race is by making sure that 6 does not get by on the top.
That last time by, O'Brien was faster than Proudfoot. Proudfoot faster than O'Brien this lap. 30.
Just under 40 remaining here in the Galaxy Cup Series Dirt Showdown at Bristol. This lap, O'Brien again faster than Proudfoot, just by a few hundredths of a second. Is that 65 just marginally faster than the 6? And Proudfoot is still stalking his prey. Meanwhile, the battle for third is on again between the 61 of Gaiman and the... Here goes a move from Proudfoot. He's going to pull a slider right up to the wall. He's going to get the wall, and O'Brien ends up, I believe, making contact with the 6.
O'Brien lost a ton of time. That actually is going to lose him 2 positions as Gaiman and Tellier get around him. Now O'Brien working the high side back around Tellier to try to get third place back. Meanwhile, Proudfoot has a huge lead on Gaiman.
What a move. And forever the broadcast is, or the meme of the broadcast right there will be my voice crack. But what a move from Brandon Proudfoot. He pulled the slider right up in front of Sean. Sean was not able to fully turn down underneath him to cross him up. He didn't give the top away, Josh, but I don't know that he was expecting such a huge slider from the 6.
Yeah, probably not at all. Proudfoot, I imagine, really had to send it into the corner to be able to complete that pass, and there wasn't much room after he did get in front of O'Brien. And I'm sure that's what cost O'Brien a lot of time. And now he's back here fighting with Tellier still for the third position. So O'Brien really not at all where he wants to be. That's up there trying to fight back for his lead.
He does work himself clear of Mike Tellier, but is it too late? Just 30 laps remaining here at Bristol, and O'Brien is using every inch of the cushion that's left out there to try to work the top back toward the 61 of Gaiman. He has pretty much gotten himself there. Gaiman has to have the worst looking car out here tonight, Josh. He's missing his front clip. He's missing the rear clip. But nonetheless, that car is still running second.
Yeah, I'm not so sure we are able to even tell what manufacturer Gaiman is driving right now. I know he's driving a Toyota, but it does not look like the Toyota Camry he started this race with.
Oh, I thought O'Brien was thinking about a slider right there, and I don't know if he got too much of the bottom or what, Josh.
Yeah, that's going to actually lose him position. Mike Tellier, the 53 car, but O'Brien still trying to work that high side. Not going to be able to get side by side with Tellier yet. He's able to really drive it into the corner through 3 and 4 now. He's going to be side by side. Excuse me, that was 1 and 2, not 3 and 4, but going to be side by side with Tellier now off of turn 4.
No, you were still backward. That you were right the first time around. That was off of turn 2.
It's so hard to tell.
Both ends look the same with dirt on it, right? Yeah. No, I'm honestly impressed that Mike Tellier hasn't gotten him off the bottom. I don't know if I would call it impressed or surprised that Mike Tellier has just been bottom feeding the entire night. These guys have been going a little faster on the top, especially these front 3 now. But Mike hasn't really decided to come up off the bottom at all, even when he got clear of Sean right there after Sean had a couple mistakes. So I'm not sure if Mike's car is just not set up to get up to the top or what. But here it is, Sean O'Brien Jr. starting to close in on Joshua Gaiman in again for second. The battle is tight here through turns 3 and 4. Come under the flag stand, 25 laps remaining here at Bristol.
Now Sean O'Brien, he's really trying to work the bottom to get around Gaiman. He's going to send it in there, slide up the racetrack now, crossover from Gaiman. That's going to give Gaiman second position right back. And now insert Mike Tellier into this battle once again for the second spot. Tellier working the bottom, but O'Brien with the advantage on the high side. O'Brien, he had second for a second, and that was all. Now he's working back over Mike Tellier to keep third place. He gets his ball pretty hard, does O'Brien.
Jumped the cushion pretty bad right there. I think Gaiman executed what Sean was hoping to happen with the lead move earlier. All of this battling, though, has let Proudfoot get a 5.5 second lead. Proudfoot currently your fastest car on the track. Man, Sean is just ripping that wall apart. Oh, he hits it real hard off of 2 right here. That's going to lose him quite a bit of time. Again, to the 61. What a battle, though, between these guys. Meanwhile, back in the rest of the field, we have other races going on for position. 2 fixated right here on this second place battle, though, because it's an absolutely mighty one. Kyle Lehman has worked his way to 5th, past Alex Princeton. Jake Hickson leads Nolan Hodgson, Campbell, and Anderson for the battle for 7th right now. And Ippolito leads Schmidt for the battle for 12th at the moment. But meanwhile, up at the front, Mike Tellier working the bottom is going to get himself clear of Sean O'Brien Jr. for the moment. I just don't think Mike can hang on to the position, though, unless he can go up there and take Sean's line away.
Yeah, I think if he's just able to get up there, get in front of Sean O'Brien, complete the
Sean hit the
pass,
wall really hard there.
and maybe run the high line just one corner, that would really help him a lot. Instead, he's continuing to run the bottom line here. You know, that's something I've noticed with all the Radius Racing guys, from Kyle Amon, Cameron Caldwell, Mike Tellier. They've all have been running the bottom. Caldwell, of course, out of this race, but all of them had been running the bottom, and so talking about, you know, maybe his car isn't set up to really go up there and run the top. I wonder if you know, all of Radius Racing just not able to run the top like these other guys are.
And I don't think that's, I mean, while it should lend to them to being able to battle a little bit better and have the ability to go to the bottom, I just don't think it pays off for them, because the top line is still the fast line and has been for the entirety of the race. Meanwhile, we watch this battle for second back on. Looks like Sean's finally got his rhythm back, where he's not knocking the wall down too much here. And Gaiman, meanwhile, making some mistakes. The lead for Proudfoot up to 6 seconds now. So Proudfoot's really found his groove again. But I think Joshua Gaiman's a little out of it. It's allowing Sean O'Brien Jr. to close up just that little bit more. I just don't know at this point, with 13 and a half laps remaining, if he definitely, I don't think, has enough time to get up to the leader, but he has a shot at P2 still. Oh, Chambers in the wall, right in front of your second place driver, Joshua Gaiman. That's actually a teammate to Sean O'Brien, the 11. Oh, and he's gonna block his teammate in.
Chambers now into the wall. I think he had help from Sean O'Brien.
I don't know that was Chambers' decision or idea to block his teammate in there, but between he and Dylan Schmidt battling away for 13th, and that is a battle for position even if they are one lap down. That battle boxed in their teammate who was trying to go catch the second place runner, and Mike Tellier's now having to work this lap traffic. He is not having a fun time of it himself.
Mike Tellier 3 wide on the bottom with the lap traffic. He's going to be able to get by the 96 of Dylan Schmidt. Side by side with Jason Chambers now.
Tellier working the lap traffic. O'Brien Jr. starting to close in again on Gaiman. 9 laps remaining here from Bristol. These guys absolutely using every inch of the top line among your top 3. Proudfoot still has a now 7-second lead over the battle for second. 8 laps remaining right there at the flag stand. And Sean has worked his way back up to battle Josh and is now putting the pressure on. And Josh is starting to show a few mistakes, just every little bit here and there. And Sean having his own as well, jumping the cushion the last couple laps, entering the corner. Josh, this is just absolutely a blast to watch.
Yeah, this is just pure insanity. You know, now we have a great long run in this race. 6 laps to go, and O'Brien and Gaiman are just putting on a great show here.
You can almost hear my smile through the mic watching this battle. Gaiman, we documented, a pretty well-versed dirt racer. Sean O'Brien wasn't one that stood out to us, Josh, that as a dirt guy, but my goodness, has this style of racing really lent itself to him, and he is showing what skill he has, putting it out there on display tonight.
Yeah, Sean O'Brien has done a great job all race long to keep his car up there and challenge for the lead, second place now. And I'm definitely really impressed with how Sean O'Brien has been able to handle his car. He gets sideways there. It's going to cost him a ton of time.
Giving it everything he has. I just don't think he has enough time. 3 laps remaining as they cross under the flag stand. Meanwhile, Mike Tellier is under pressure from his teammate Kyle Amon for 4th. There's a yellow with 3 to go, 2.5 to go. We have a caution, and you see it there on your screen. The 96 of Dylan Schmidt gets turned by the 32 of Jake Hickson, and this changes everything.
That is everything that Proudfoot did not want to see, and that is exactly what Damon and Sean O'Brien wanted to see. Take a look here once again. Dylan
I think Hickson was just trying to get past the lappers, and I'm not sure if Schmidt didn't know that Hickson was coming to the bottom or what. But Josh, that gives us a green white checker here on Galaxy. So far, this season's longest night in the Galaxy Cup Series.
Yeah, and this has been an insanely incredible race. We've just been watching. I'm very, like, as a fan, I am very excited for what we have seen tonight. You know, this has been awesome racing all around, and now we get a green-white checker, and we get up to 3 attempts at that green-white checkered. So this will be attempt number 1.
Let's see if we can catch a quick interview, Josh. Who do you want to dial up on the radio? I think I got a good candidate in the pre-interview room.
Mike Tellier, yeah, let's go ahead and bring him on in. Hey Mike, this is Josh up in the JCTV booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, we're gonna get a quick interview in before we go back to green, but you're running 4th place. You've been up and down the track in positions all night long. What's it gonna take here for you to be able to maybe park that car in victory lane?
The front 3 to wreck each other. They are just so fast on the high. I can't keep up.
I've been noticing you've been riding the bottom line all race long, along with your Radius Racing teammates. Is it just something with the setup of the car? Really can't get, up on the high side?
Yeah, we're really, well, at least I'm really loose right now. I don't know how Kyle is, so me moving up the track, it just seems to slow me down. So I'm just trying to creep the bottom and get a good center off and hope I can hold a decent position. But yeah, I'm just way too loose right now.
Alrighty. Well, you're about to go back green, so we'll go ahead and let you get back to it.
Thanks, guys.
That was Mike Tellier, driver number 53 for Radius Racing.
Pace truck is off. Brandon Proudfoot gets on the loud pedal. He gets a 3-car length jump. First green white checkered attempt of the night. Joshua Gaiman falls into second. Sean O'Brien Jr. absolutely smashes the wall. Mike Tellier did not get a good restart on the top. Has fallen to 6th position. Meanwhile, white flag for Brandon Proudfoot, working his final lap of the race. Lap 255. They've gone 5 laps into overtime. One last try from Gaiman around the top. Proudfoot on the bottom. O'Brien's not going to get the second, but it's going to be Brandon Proudfoot for Unkind Esports 1-2 with his teammate Joshua Gaiman, followed by Sean O'Brien Jr. coming home in 3rd. What a race. What a tough finish for a lot of guys further back in the field.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there was a wreck further back in the field as we were taking the white flag. I believe it was involving the number 95, and I'm not so sure about anybody else, but here we see...
Oh.
Okay. There was a lot of people that...
I think the 65 and the 32 were into it. There's a little bit of a quarrel on the radio between those two.
Wow, that was...
We'll
that
get the
was
chance to unpack it all for you here
just crazy.
on JCTV. What a finish to this dirt showdown here at Bristol in the Galaxy Cup Series. Congratulations to your winner, Brandon Proudfoot. Definitely leading the most laps tonight. What a race from him. Go ahead and take a quick break here on JCTV while we get ready for post-race coverage. Stay tuned. Is my mic still hot? Welcome back to tonight's coverage of the Galaxy Cup Series here on JCTV. We just saw an exciting 256 lap race on Bristol dirt here on the iRacing service. Concluded with a top 3 finish of 2 Unkind Esport drivers and 1 Black Flag Motorsports driver as well. The best 3 all night long, but it ends up being Brandon Proudfoot finding victory lane, and we're down here with him now. Brandon, absolutely stellar race, led most of the laps there. But first, I gotta know, walk me through that move right there that you had to take the lead back from Sean O'Brien Jr.
Not part of Unkind Esports, part of Jim Beaver Esports. I just hang out in that channel. But he got real squirrely on the front stretch there, the back stretch. I'm not sure what side of the track it was on, but I sent it in through the bottom. I knew I had him cleared in the straightaway, and I pretty much tried to keep it right up against the wall. And I don't know if he tried to cross me over and it just got tight on or what, but I know he made contact with the rear end there, and it was quite a long time after I did the slider, but got cleared. It didn't look like he had too much damage from it, so I'm thankful for that. He was still able to pull a third, almost second place finish today.
Well, you documented early on in the race when we talked to you early there in the first stage that the top line was going to be the line that everyone wanted to be at. And you top three demonstrated it tonight. Did you feel like you were kind of running out of real estate to use up there after 250 laps here at Bristol?
About the 120 to 130 area, I noticed that there wasn't anything left up on top. The cushion embankment was starting to get a little lower, and I believe at the end of stage one, there was a few warnings out for people that were wall riding, and I don't think I personally was. I was trying to keep it off as much as possible, because with it being a long dirt race like that, damage is a little bit of a concern. It's so important for these guys whenever they're at the bigger tracks and tracks that have aero, but I'm not sure what type of aero package was on this thing to run here at Bristol Motor Speedway, but after the first stage, keeping off the wall is my priority, and then right there at the very end, about 10-15 laps, well, about 25 to go, once I had a pretty good gap from Sean and Josh there, I took it to the bottom. It was about 0.2 slower, but keeps you off the wall.
Well, now that you got a win under your belt, virtual lock into the playoffs, how's that change things for your season now? Being able to potentially look forward toward the playoffs.
Definitely a surprise, because I'm a dirt guy. I don't do this asphalt thing. Going to be making me work a lot harder now, knowing that I'm actually going to be in the top 16 or whatever it is. I don't know. I've never been in a playoff in a Cup Series before, but it's definitely going to make me have to put in a lot more work and put head down and focus a lot more.
Alrighty, well, before I let you get out of here, who helps you get it done on that number 6? Who do you want to thank for tonight's run?
Of course, first of all, my team, Jim Beaver Esports. I know I've got a lot of support over there. Thanks, guys. Primary sponsor, Fistful of Bourbon, Winners Get Whiskey, baby. General Tire, Polaris RZR, Vision Wheel, Rigid Industries, Dirtfish, JSP, XTV Axles, Gibson Performance Exhaust, Acronis, Sant Racing Fabrication, 07 Designs, Chris Leone Motorsport Drop, Galaxy and all the guys, and I believe it was Cameron who was in the hot seat tonight for making sure stages were called out and everything, so good job on him for taking up that role. And all the guys that also do it that weren't here tonight or whatnot. You guys for doing the broadcast here at JCTV, and family that roots me on, the girlfriend that keeps me in line. And yeah, it's Bristol, baby.
Alrighty, well, that's our winner tonight. Brandon Proudfoot in the number 6 Fistful of Bourbon Ford Mustang, bringing it home in victory lane after leading the most tonight. But he certainly had a challenge the whole way home. Look forward to seeing him in 2 weeks down at Martinsville. Josh, I believe you've caught up with our second place finisher, Joshua Gaiman.
Yeah, caught up with second place finisher Joshua Gaiman. Josh, you had an incredible, car early on in the race. Ended up getting lots of damage. I'm honestly surprised you were able to still bring it home second place. Did you feel like you were going to be able to bring it home second or as well, or be able to, for that matter, still contend for the front spot?
I wasn't sure if I'd be able to contend for first, but I mean, once the car lost a little bit of power, I was kind of able to just stop lifting, and it didn't spin the tires as much, so I think that definitely helped me a little bit. I could tell I was down, on speed down the straightaways, but through the corners, I just really did not have to lift out of the throttle at all anymore. So I don't know. I don't know if it really hurt me as much as it's helped me. Maybe a little 50-50.
Looking ahead into the schedule, you've been running really consistent races all throughout the season so far. Looking ahead, is there any tracks that you kind of eye that you might be able to park in victory lane?
Kind of like Brandon. I mean, I'm more dirt than asphalt. This is probably the first full length cup thing that I've run, of any capacity. But a few tracks that I definitely want to look towards is, going to super speedways again, because anything can really happen there. I do enjoy road courses with these cars. So you got Coda, Sonoma, the Roval later on, Indy road courses there. That's actually kind of one of my more favorite Rovals that is out there. So those will all kind of be a little bit of a mix up. Darlington's a fun track, but I'm a little hit and miss there. So yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see.
I'm also very curious, bringing it back to today, really battling with Sean O'Brien. You guys were, just neck and neck all of the third stage. How hard was it to really hold him off, especially having, a horsepower disadvantage?
Yeah, I could tell he would definitely run me down on corner entry a lot because he'd just be carrying more steam into the corner. I didn't really think he was like as close as he was until he threw that slider on me, and then I was like, oh, okay, he's still right there. I gotta really keep it going, and I just really focused on trying to keep the car a little bit straighter as much as possible. I think that's kind of what helped me out is that little wake up call.
All right. Well, before I let you go, is there any sponsors, team shout-outs you'd like to give? Who gets it done for you?
Yeah, Unkind Esports, the guys that are doing stuff there. We got guys that play FIFA, we got guys that play Smash Brothers, like pretty much any kind of game you could think of, really. My main sponsor is RVD CBD, which is Rob Van Dam's CBD company. So a big shout out to him supporting us, and that is you guys for putting it on in the league.
Alrighty, well, congrats on second place finish, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
Well, that was the second place finisher, number 61, Joshua Gaiman. Incredible run by him, Eric, but now we turn it on over. I believe you've caught up with third place finisher, Sean O'Brien.
Yep, I'm down here in the pits. Sean O'Brien coming home third tonight. Just absolutely so close there at the end. What more do you feel like you needed, especially after almost getting that crossover on the slider?
Needed about 3,500 more in dirt oval iRating. Monday my dirt oval iRating was at 1,300. Brandon is like 5,000 or something crazy like that. But yeah, I felt like this was probably one of my best chances to get a win this year. And then old Kyle Larson of iRacing shows up and smacks the entire field.
You had it there coming toward the end, and then he pulls the slider on you. What was your mindset there? Did you see it coming? How did you need just a couple more millimeters there to get underneath him? Because we did see there was a little bit of contact. Was there something you wish you would have had play out different there?
Yeah, as this track wore, I wasn't as fast as I used to be, and he could run any lane he wanted to. He could really pull off those sliders well, and when he got in front of me, I tried crossing over, and then there's just a mile of net code, and that jiffed me up. I almost hit the pit wall, and that allowed 61 and 53 to get by me, so I had to track them back down. That's about it.
Did you think that late race yellow was your chance at it? Anything that might have been able to happen there late in the race?
I don't know. I was, kind of trying to figure out, what the strategy would be, but the track's just so worn out at that point. Just the advantage he has of knowing when he's going, I have to react to it, and just that coupled with just the negative grip on the track is just nothing I could do really.
All right. Well, as we move on from Bristol, look ahead. You got Martinsville, Richmond coming up, and then we got the big one over there at Talladega. What's got you most excited looking forward on the schedule, and where do you feel like you can capitalize on the great run you've been having so far this season?
Well, Jason Taylor, my teammate, this week, I told him that this is probably my best shot besides probably New Hampshire and the plate tracks. Besides then, it's gonna take some luck to get one. But I always like New Hampshire. It's my home track, so I always try to perform really well there. And also Martinsville. I always do good at Martinsville. Big short track guy, so hopefully come back next race, not next week, Easter, but next race and finally get a win.
Alrighty, but before I let you get out of here, Sean, who helps you get it done on that number 65? Who do you want to thank for the great run you had tonight?
Jason Taylor. He is the Ray Evernham of our team. I just complain about the setup all week, and he waves his magic wand and makes it all better. Dylan Kreitz can make it tonight, but he's the moral support and comedic support I need. And then also Dylan Schmidt and Jason Chambers. Takes the whole team to get finishes like this.
Alrighty, well, that's our third place finisher tonight, the number 65 of Sean O'Brien Jr. And that will be his 5th top 10 on this 8 races that we've had so far this season. Very consistent drive out of that 65. Josh, that's going to do it for post-race interviews. What a race we just saw. And how about it? Brandon Proudfoot, the dirt pro. No surprise, he ended up getting the win tonight.
Yeah, not a surprise at all. I'm very impressed with, how Sean O'Brien did, though. We were talking about him, and he was really able to keep up with Proudfoot for a good chunk of this race, keeping Proudfoot honest. But in the end, Proudfoot did come up on top, and it was just great drive by him. Absolutely incredible, dominating the race, and he was really able to cut through the traffic very quickly when he was restarting in the mid-pack from a couple times that he pit under the stage cautions.
Yeah, I definitely think he stood out as the most improved driver of over the night. Just how he came on so strong and showed a lot of muscle that I'm not sure that he's shown too much of this season. But that number 65's got a lot of pace in it. And I think, like he said, the super speedways are always a toss-up, so anyone can win at those. And that could be another great shot for him to get a chance that he might have missed out on tonight. But we look forward to Martinsville in 2 weeks. Next week is Easter. So, Josh, what are you expecting as we head to the paperclip in 2 weeks' time?
Oh, man, I expect chaos, insanity, but nowhere near the type of chaos and insanity we had tonight. I do expect it to, be typical short track racing. I personally love Martinsville. Really looking forward to going there. Not sure if the plan is to bring the driver's suit or the microphone, but if I end up bringing the driver's suit, man, that one is definitely a track that I always have circled on the calendar. It should be a great show.
Don't forget, that's in 2 weeks' time, Under the Lights. I think because of that, it moves up to a Friday night here on JCTV. Saturday or Friday, April 9th. Don't forget to circle that one on your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. But that's going to do it for us tonight here on JCTV from The Galaxy Cup Series admins, Dave Fuse Jr., David Dew, Ryan Mabry, Cameron Caldwell are in race control tonight. Galaxy Cup Series admin. For my partner here in the broadcast booth, Joshua Coppernell, I'm Eric Wine saying, have a great night. Stay healthy, stay safe out there. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time for a little bit more short track racing on some asphalt, this time at Martinsville.